Unlocking Marital Bliss.
Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to have you right here at Unlocking Marital Bliss. It's always a pleasure to have fun with you. We believe in having bliss in marriage. 2022 and everything is just so beautiful. We are having bliss. And to many of you that are out there, you might say, another year has come in. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just so tired. I'm just so weary. I don't like this marriage. I don't know where it's going. It's 2022. What am I going to do? I have good news for you. Are you bored? Yes, I can hear you scream. Are you bored in your marriage? Yes, you got to do something. Tell me how to get out of this boredom. Yell. You can yell and do whatever, but tonight we're going to talk about boredom in marriage and how to overcome it. Is it possible? Does it happen? Y'all can testify it does happen, and some of y'all are just watching and saying, yeah, it does happen. So I would like you to just sit down, call in everybody, and tell them it's boredom in marriage. Is it the end of marriage when you're bored? We're going to find out with my special guest, as usual. Many have been asking where she's been, and she is back. We're going to be talking about boredom in marriage, and I'll see you in a minute. We'll be back. It's Unlocking Marital Bliss, and we're talking about boredom in marriage. And tonight I have a special guest. I usually call her my usual suspect. And many of you have been asking where she's been. Winfred Zizinga is with me in the house. And it's going to be so beautiful as we discuss this. Winfred,
Yes, please.
you're so much welcome.
Thank you very much.
You look wonderful.
Thank you very much.
God's been good to you. Huh?
Hallelujah.
I can tell it. I can tell it. So now, there are many people out there that feel bored. Many people feel like they can't go on another year. Their marriage is boring. And they say it's dead. And nothing is happening. I mean, they don't go out and all this kind of stuff. I had a couple that I was talking to the other day, and the wife was saying, "I'm so bored. I can't keep this thing going. I'm so bored." What does boredom mean in marriage? Or what does boredom mean, literally?
Um, First of all, Pastor Cyrus, 2020, let us start from 2020.
Okay.
2020, before we go to 2022,
Uh-huh.
ushered in something that we all didn't know would happen.
Okay.
Now we are home together
Yes.
most of the time, or at least for the last 2 years.
2 years.
We're not going anywhere.
Uh-huh.
We can't socialize. Probably your pay was cut, my pay was cut. We have to live on so little. So we can't do the things that made us happy. Most of us are relating boredom in marriage with the outward expression. I am happy we are going out. Because passports were rendered useless in the last 2 years.
Visas got expired
Visas got expired without us moving
without us
anywhere.
moving anywhere.
Yes, so you're bored because Rob is bored because you haven't sent her abroad alone to shop with the girls. You are bored because you haven't been to the bar to watch football with your friends.
Yeah.
You have been bored. You don't see any sense in just sitting with your wife or me sitting with my husband. We are bored. There's a sense of dullness. There is nothing fun anymore.
You're just tired.
Yeah, and that brings, and we have the kids at home on top of that, and the maids have left. So we are bored.
I thought now that we're just two at home, then it would be wonderful to have just the two of us.
You see, Pastor Cyrus, there's something about the way life was before the lockdown. We would go out.
We were happening.
We were happening. You'd go out, I'd go out. And we were happy.
So we were happy because you could go out and I would go out.
Yes.
Oh.
And you could get on a plane or pay for my ticket to go out and, be happy or take a holiday. But now we are stuck home.
Passports rendered powerless and useless.
Yes. So most of us are home by ourselves. with our children. And now reality hits. Oops, who is this person
Married to.
I'm married to for the last donkey years?
Okay.
And we're not going out. You can't show off. Remember in some of the shows you have been talking about the covering that the men have.
Yeah.
And you've shown me money. We have seen money. But now even those with the money,
Got nothing to show.
I mean they can't.
Because the money ain't doing nothing for you.
True.
You're locked up in your house.
Absolutely.
You can show up and say, hey, look at this. I got you a new car.
Where is she going to take it in the lockdown? You got me a new dress. When am I going to wear it? We're working from home. We're staying at home. We can't visit. We are remotely working. You're working 75% of the time at home.
Yeah,
So who is going to see the new dress? We're not going to church. Who is going to see the new dress?
that's true.
Who's going to see the new hair? So there is no point in you investing in it. Now I'm bored. I mean, some husbands used to leave money for Kameza
And now they don't even leave any money.
because they're home. We're all home.
So there's nothing to leave behind. So you used to get your whole happiness from the man leaving some money on the...
Yes, so I was not bored then.
And now no money is left behind.
I'm bored.
And then you're stuck with me.
I'm bored.
You can't go out and shop.
I am bored.
You can't hang around your buddies.
Very bored.
Now, because of all that is happening, that is going on, now you say you are bored.
True.
I mean, where do we get such kind of thinking? I mean, so we've built our marriages based on me being happy and what is around us, the show off.
Yes.
I take you on a ride to Mackinson Falls.
You're the plot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so if I don't take you out,
No.
I buy you a new dress.
You're the man.
I don't buy a new dress.
I'm bored.
Man, most of y'all, your marriages are really falling apart because you're bored. Because, I mean, you've built marriage on stuff that doesn't exist. How do you build marriage on happenings? In fact, most couples out there, you're really mad, you're crazy in the house because there's no more happening.
And there's let me add a little spanner to the works, Pastor Cyrus. So we are all home. Or I say I am bored because I don't go out anymore. Maybe because even your income is not enough to take me out anymore.
Because I got a salary cut.
Exactly. Now, you do not communicate that to me. I still have expectations, right? Now, this is affecting us even in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So I'm bored. Even the way you touch me is boring. I mean, everything about you is boring.
Oh, God. Everything is boring.
Everything is so boring. There is nothing, there is no joy in anything.
Instead of getting a touch and you warm up, you just freeze.
Even the heart to receive is closed. My husband used to give me 100,000. He now gives me 50,000. My heart is closed because for the last 5 years,
It's been 100K.
it's been 100, it's been growing.
Yeah,
And for the last 2 years,
it has gone back.
it has gone down
It
or
has
nothing.
dwindled.
Exactly. So I have tied my affection, I have tied my happiness, I've tied my lack of boredom to what he can do to satisfy the emptiness in me.
Say that again.
I have tied my happiness, I have tied my joy, I have tied everything about me not to be bored on what he provides for me. And when that is not there, it's about me. How is he satisfying me?
And in the same sense, as a man, when I'm bored, I have tied everything of my happiness on what a woman can do for me to satisfy me. And that's where the man begins seeing women as sex objects.
True.
That the only thing they can do in a home is give sex. And if they ain't giving sex in the home, the marriage is bored.
Absolutely. I mean, he's stressed according to the wording today, what we say, oh, I'm so stressed. And to relieve a man's stress,
Take him to bed.
yes, to take him to bed.
So he came back and he's just
he's
disturbed.
stressed. Yes. And I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking, okay, I have not received any money from you in the last 3 days. You have not bought me a dress in the last 3 days. You have not even put me on your status in the last 3 days.
Now, but you know, y'all women need to learn something.
I mean, don't even say that I love you on your status in the last 3 days.
Don't you think this is just totally crazy? Insane? Something ridiculous? I mean, how do you survive off of your status? I mean, if I can put you on my status, no problem. But how do you survive off of that? And you are satisfied because I put you on my status.
It is outward things, Pastor Cyrus, because there are men who cheat, but their wives are on their status.
Exactly.
She's the profile picture, she's the status every day, but he's out in a hotel with someone else.
And the other women don't care who's on the status. They don't care. They just care how they can manipulate you.
True. So
And you are home minding, well, I'm on status. I'm on status.
and so I'm not bored. In that way, I am not bored. So we have to keep it up. So you are not doing, I am not doing.
Yeah.
He's not doing his bit, I'm not doing my bit. So he cries boredom, I cry boredom. We're not seeing eye to eye. We're finding satisfaction in other things. The things that used to bring me satisfaction are the things my husband used to provide.
Yes.
And now that they're not there, I am bored all of a sudden. Don't you see, Pastor Cyrus, that in the last 2 years, boredom in marriage has really increased? I mean, you're the marriage counselor. You deal with these things every day.
Yeah.
But in the last 2 years, we have gotten to see ourselves for who we are as married people. How much can I handle? Who is this I'm married to? I'm getting to know my children. I'm getting to know my spouse. In these last 2 years, can I take this or not?
It's overwhelming.
It's really overwhelming. And the other time, I like one of the shows that I watched sometime, and some guy said, money is a universal lubricant. So now that the lubricant is not there, everything
is friction. It's too much. It's wearing out.
it's rubbing too roughly.
Yeah.
The Baganda have that saying, of a center work something like that.
Yeah.
So where the money is, and now there is no money for so many people.
And to some, there's a lot of money. And there's no happening, but there's a lot of money.
True.
And they can do, but the marriage is boring. Even with all this money. And especially, I've dealt with many people. I've seen rich people in tears because the marriage is boring. The marriage is collapsing.
Pastor Cyrus, I think, in my personal thought, is that we may have all the money.
Yeah.
Every one of these things is stemming from in here.
Yeah.
There is a lot of emptiness inside here. And your expectation is for a human being to feel and fulfill
The emptiness. When we talk about the emptiness, we're literally talking about a sense of nothingness, a sense of lack of belonging. Like you don't belong. You feel it. You feel like,
If I had that car, I would belong.
I would belong.
Yes. If my status showed that I am in Dubai,
I would belong.
I would belong. If I had
I would feel that I'm loved.
exactly that is
I would feel that I'm loved. You know, that sense of belonging. And that's the emptiness that billions are suffering from.
So all your identity is tied to having these things, doing these things. My husband does this for me, I belong. My spouse does this for me, I feel like I belong. He sends me the car, he opens the door for me. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the day he don't open it,
Then that's the time you realize you don't belong. You're not loved. You're not loved. Now, people talk about that, and when it comes to boredom, you've built all this around very well about me.
everything
Nah.
is about
Now you see where the problem comes in. Everything is about
me,
me
myself,
and I.
and I.
So anybody who says I am bored in this marriage is selfish.
Plain and simple.
Now, y'all are hearing this. Y'all are getting this. Y'all are getting this. I want you to say it out. You agree with me? Anybody that says they are bored in marriage,
are thinking only about themselves.
only about themselves
What am I getting?
in this.
What can I receive? There is nothing about giving.
Exactly.
It's what can I get? What am I getting? What did I get for me to do? So it has nothing to do with, oh,
So and so is not doing.
everything. I mean, you see what he's not doing, you see what he's not giving. Oh, I saw so and so's husband bought him a car. You earn the same amount of money. Why don't you buy me a car? I saw so and so has a new hairstyle. Why don't I have it? I mean, everything is about me. What did I get? What can I get? I am not thinking, how can I pray for you today, my husband, as you go out?
I love that.
How can I minister to you today? How can I make your day lighter today?
As you go out.
As you go out.
How can I pray that God blesses us that we can build? How can I pray that God increases you so you take care of your family?
What do you have need of today?
That is what most spouses are missing out. I love what you said. What can I do to make this easier for you? How can I serve you? How can I minister to you? I think this is so powerful. That is what we are lacking.
And in ministering to you, Pastor Cyrus, I know there's some men out there who are saying, yeah, she sits home every day. Yes, she should be asking me, how can she minister to me?
Now, that's when, now, if I say something like that, I have also missed it.
Absolutely.
I have also missed it.
Absolutely.
Well, she sits home every day. Well, actually, your spouse don't sit home every day. Because if she just sat home every day, you would never see what you're seeing today. You have a good home, you come back and you eat something. Well, you can't eat something if she sits home every day. You can't find the whole thing if all she does is sit home every day.
Absolutely.
Now, you see, I think this is where the selfishness comes in. Self-centeredness.
It's about me. So what was I saying that, Pastor Cyrus, me asking my spouse, my husband, how can I make your day lighter?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't have a workload to deal with.
Yeah. It means you've taken eyes off you to seek what is best for the other party.
True.
At your expense.
True.
Now that is what is called loving somebody. I seek what is best for you at my expense. Not that I don't want it for me, but I used to spend me for you to get. I spend me so you enjoy.
Do you know the joy that brings to your heart when he comes back home and says, my day was lighter, thank you? Where is the boredom there?
It will never be, because eyes are off me. You see, there's a difference between love and lust, and our viewers need to get this. Love is me spending myself for your own good.
Now, Pastor Cyrus,
Lust.
I have been home
Yeah.
and found you babysitting
Yeah.
without your wife. And she has gone
Yes.
to work.
Yes.
When she comes home at a later time,
Yeah.
you said everyone gets out of the house to go welcome her.
When she comes home, it's a law. Everybody, whether you're watching TV, whether you're doing work, everybody, mama is back. Let everybody get out and go welcome her.
That is it. Now, Pastor Cyrus, we all know it's women's jobs to babysit.
Yeah.
It's women's jobs to stay
Yeah,
home.
thank you. Allah, you put that in quotes, okay.
In quotes, to babysit, to stay home. How easy it would have been for you with the things that you do
Yes.
to tell her, no, 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 no. I'm going to the studio with Winnie, so you are going to stay home. But you reschedule because she has to go out. That is sacrifice, which men don't understand either. How can I make your day lighter, Robbie, today?
Yes.
And she would say, if you stayed with the kids, if I didn't have to go with the children,
Yes.
that would make my day lighter.
Yes.
How about you sacrifice? Imagine Robbie comes home and says, "Webale kusigala n'abaana." It made my day lighter. I'm glad I didn't go with the children.
You know, that is what love is all about. That is what love is.
Where is boredom going to hit you on that one?
There's no way boredom can come in, because I am not trying to seek what pleases me. I am seeking what pleases you. My eyes are off me. You know, I think the greatest fear that has really fueled boredom is that boredom is about selfishness. My eyes are on me and what I want, me, myself, and I. Now, what fuels it so much is that I am scared of taking eyes off me. If there are no eyes that remain on me.
Now, last week, in my place of work, I was talking to a young man. I asked him how his family was, and he said, "Yeah, they're fine, but I'm not happy." So I asked him exactly what is happening, and he said, "My wife has to take the child to her mother's every morning, and bring the child back at 8, and that is pissing me off. The child is less than a year." So I asked him,
And the wife works.
the wife works, he works. So I asked him, so
What do
what
you
is
want?
making you annoyed?
In that.
Why doesn't she stay there with the child instead of moving with the child back and forth? So I asked him, so what can you do to make the load lighter? You leave here by 5. So I asked him, where does your mother-in-law live? She said, not very far from us. What is wrong with you passing by?
And pick up your baby and go take care of the baby.
Exactly. I mean, we used to.
And what was his response? I can see them eyeballs almost popping out. Offended.
He was offended. He sat back and said, you know what, Winnie, it doesn't work like that. I said, you know, you've got...
How does it work? How does it...
It's the
Who
woman's
told you?
responsibility. So I asked him, have you asked your wife why she doesn't want to live there? And his wife gave him a perfect answer. Obosibufumbo. I don't know how you translate that.
That ain't marriage.
That ain't marriage. Because the mother does not live far.
And now the man is saying, why don't you stay there?
Why don't you stay there and come back over the weekend?
That's ridiculous. Now, here is where men get bored, because all you do is you're very self-centered. You think you can take eyes off you and then take responsibility over your own baby.
Now, here is the killer. I asked him, what does she do? He said, I don't even know what she's doing.
Oh, wow. And you're a husband.
Absolutely. Like, I got so bored with this whole conversation. I don't know what she's doing.
Oh, wow. Now, dude, I'm talking to you. You don't know what your husband, you don't know what your wife is doing. You're so selfish. You're so self-centered. You're so full of yourself. Let me tell you something. And boredom is not going to change by you thinking the grass is greener on the other side. No, boredom is killed by you taking eyes off you. I mentioned something and I said it is so hard to take eyes off you if you're not sure that there are eyes that remain on you. And now the only way eyes can remain on me is by me knowing who God is.
Because the saying these days for the women is, now if I am looking after him, who is going to look after me?
No, yeah, I love that. If I'm looking after him, who's going to look after me?
Because
We'll live,
looking after me.
because we live in fear. Now, perfect love
Cast out fear.
casts out, it flushes it out. Like when you go to the restroom and you flush, it flushes out all fear. In other words, I am afraid that nobody's going to take care of me. Why am I afraid nobody's going to take care of me? Because I have never connected with the man upstairs. I don't know who he is. I go to church, it's religion. I don't understand. And I mean, but the man we call Jesus is real. In that, if I discover how much he has loved me, you get me, unconditionally, and I believe in that love, then now I have eyes that are on me. So I have no time to waste with eyes on me. Because I have eyes on me, now I can have eyes on you.
True.
And their boredom will never happen. As long as I know I have eyes on me, then I can have eyes on you. But the reason I'm bored is because I don't know their eyes on me. So now I have to have eyes on me and look after myself. If I don't look after myself, who gonna look after me?
That is why looking after myself for me means I am happy. Because I have the latest wig, I have the latest lipstick, I have the latest bangles, I have the latest shoes, and I am happy. So we think these things, the thing is that we think they fill the inside. And the lack of them has brought us to a place of boredom.
Actually, having all those things does not bring his eyes on you. It doesn't. I mean, it's a relationship. It's about the inside where you believe that, you know what, thank you for forgiving my sins. Thank you for cleansing me. I belong to you. Now you own me. Now, when I know somebody owns me, I feel the sense of belonging. It is so hard to feel belonging if you don't acknowledge ownership. Oh, God. Now, this is so beautiful. We're talking about boredom in marriage, and I'm going to come back with Winnie in just a minute.
Unlocking marital bliss. Unlocking marital bliss.
We'll be back. You're still watching Unlocking Marital Bliss with me, Cyrus Rod, with my guest, Winfred Zizinga. It's always a pleasure to enjoy this. And you know, I'm enjoying because I ain't bored in marriage. And to you that are watching, I've been talking about boredom with Winfred over here. And yes, we're going to continue from where we stopped at so you can keep learning and we can see bliss in your marriage. Winfred, you know, when we took a break, something came up because you mentioned about you got to maintain me on your status.
Absolutely.
And you realize that actually some of these guys have become real idiots. You just can't imagine how foolish, how tricky they can be. I can put you on status and you're the only one who sees yourself on status and the rest never see you. It's only you who sees that you're on status.
How wicked.
How wicked people can be. You know, this is just unbelievable. You guys, I mean, why do you waste time manipulating everything? When are you ever going to enjoy life? You're so bored that you're manipulating stuff.
Now, he thinks he's enjoying life, and in actual sense, he probably is. Why? His wife sees herself on the status. She feels good. When he come home, she's going to be good. Life is good.
That's a cover up.
I know it is, Pastor Cyrus, but until it goes bust.
And the more you walk in this cover up, that's why you feel more unloved,
That is it.
unwanted, and then the boredom comes in. Because now you even begin demanding from a human being what only God can do, can give. You know,
Pastor Cyrus, you're empty. You think she can satisfy you. She's empty.
she thinks I can satisfy her.
Yes.
And now, when we come together, I see this. When we come together, empty, empty, unloved, unloved, but we think we're going to be one and be married. And then now, look at how foolish you can be. We're going to be one and love one another. But you see, if I feel unloved and unloved and we come together, then I'm going to try to use you to feel me. And then you're going to try to use me to feel you.
Yes, because you're both devising means. I think that I can love my husband by doing A, B, C, D, E. Works. I'm not talking about when the heart is in it.
Yeah.
I am talking about it in what can I get from him.
Which is lust. Lust is, wow, what can I get from you? at your expense. I don't spend
And
me,
he's
I
thinking
spend you.
the same thing.
Oh Lord. And no matter how much we can do all this, you're taking from me, I'm taking from you, I'm sucking out of you, you're sucking out of me, everything. We're gonna be bored. It's a matter of time. That's why you can find men like Bill Gates. He's got all the money
All the millions in dollars.
in dollars, by the way. Jeff Bezos, all the billions in dollars, and there. I can't keep up with this. And it's so new. Get me a model. You know, you've had kids now. You're grown. I need a model. So when a model shows up, ooh yeah, that's gonna make me good. That's gonna make me happy. No, you see, even with all the billions, boredom doesn't just go. You gotta discover whose eyes are on you.
Just tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
I know there is a couple out there saying, we started well.
Yes.
We started well. I don't know what happened. Now I'm bored. So, what is it about what they did before and now that has changed? Is it true you really started well?
I love that question.
Is it true you really started well? I love the couples who are getting married now, maybe. Like Mbeda and B. Accordingly, like we've had lockdowns. You have a small wedding, you've had a small wedding because it's only 200 people at the wedding. You've had small things. And some of them in the middle of preparing for these things, they have been slashed off work, or the work has reduced, or the money has reduced. But they've still gone on ahead to actually make this work. But then the question still stands for them. Is it what it is going to be in the next 5 years? Or are you going to be bored? So for some of us, yes, we started well, but did we really start well?
I love that question. It's relative. You're going to have a relative answer. We started well. What do you mean by you started well?
We used to talk, we used to do things together, we were happy together, there was no boredom.
So that means you started well.
We started well.
No. You know, it's just like when you talk about we started well, you got to define what that means.
The wellness.
Because when you start well, it means you know why you got married.
We don't.
You know
Whose marriage is?
whose marriage it is.
Ours.
Now, you literally started off on the wrong foot.
True.
And that's why you're limping. You don't know how to go forward. You start well by knowing the origin of marriage, who owns marriage, why, the purpose of marriage. You get it? If you don't know these things, you never started well. But now that you get to know origin of marriage is God, who owns marriage? God. Purpose of marriage, give God glory by two becoming one.
So everything is about him.
Everything is about him. In marriage, it's not about us.
Now that's what we think. So we didn't have kids. We used to go out.
No, kids ain't the problem.
We didn't have before we got married. He used to take me out every week when we were dating. Now we're married. We're going out. We happen.
You know, Winnie, let me say this to you. When you start going out and you think that's what makes the marriage good, I'm not saying going out is bad. I'll tell you this. I got married real soon. It's 18 years of bliss. 18. Now, when I look at it, my wife just wanted to build a home. You get it?
A house or a home?
A home.
Okay. So we're clear.
We're clear on that. Our home. She didn't mind even when we were living a little bit of what she didn't mind. She just wanted to build a home. In fact, we started out so down, but we appreciated where we were. And we lived in these rented houses that if you came looking for us, they would say, look for the cleanest part.
The cleanest rental.
The cleanest rental. And that's where they would go. She would make a home, make it memorable. And this is what happens. After getting married about 2 months, she had her friends showed up. They say, hey, Robbie, we gotta go. You know, the man is gonna make you old, but you staying at home all the time. And she said, you know, I need time to build this home. So there's gonna be a change. I can't go out like I used to. I can't keep doing that like I used to. They got mad. They disconnected from her. And she said, it's all well. I'm going to connect with my man. I'm going to build something together. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. She's not into this. Take me out. Take me out. Take me out. What? Because I'm always in. And I've made the home amazing for her. It's not about, we don't believe in the girls' night out. Boys night out. That's junk. You spend your time with your spouse and you don't need girls night out. What you gonna be talking about? That's what my wife says. What you gonna be talking about with other girls? Doing what? Let them go and make their homes.
How your wife did this, how she did not do that, how she brought you food that was burnt, how she...
And so I go out with the boys and then I begin talking that nonsense.
About your wife.
It's because I am totally empty. I don't even know how to love her. If I love my wife, I teach her how to clean. I teach her how to make the food. I teach her how to do everything.
What if you don't know?
If I don't know, I hire. Oh, come on. Because it's my responsibility. I don't send her back. That's what love is all about.
Now, Pastor Cyrus, that foundation is good, which is not what many have, or are willing to have. I mean, we like good things, but how much time it takes to put into the foundation or the roots, to nurture the roots in these good things, is what we don't want to do. I do not want to labor. I don't know who planted this tree over here, but someone took time to do the thing. I remember, okay, some of our viewers maybe don't know, but you remember there was that sign, Kampala, along Bat Valley. Someone used to tend those plants. It was like,
Yes, they were beautiful.
they were beautiful, very beautiful. We lived in the flats across and we could actually see them. They're not there anymore. But someone took time, and I saw that there was a man who used to come daily to clean up, to weed, to just keep those things short, to cut them. An elderly man. And when he died, they died.
Oh, God.
But the thing is this, Pastor Cyrus, we don't want to put in what it takes to make it work.
Yes.
Sacrificed her friends. It doesn't mean she didn't love them.
No. By the way, they've come back now. They're seeking wisdom. They're seeking. Talk to me. How do we do this?
And right now, she can actually sit with them at home.
Exactly.
And she can host them. Just the ladies to host them at home. She can host them, and they talk. Then it was time for putting the foundations right.
Yes.
And today you will not talk about boredom. But when we come to you and tell you we're bored, and you're taking us to the basics, we're wondering what's wrong with this man.
Fix me up just here.
Yeah, we want instant things, instant coffee, instant tea, instant everything is instant today. So we don't want to put in the work. But boredom is normally about seeing me. I see me. Every time I look out, I see me. I want me happy. I'm not thinking, what can I do to make him happy? I'm not thinking, what can I sacrifice for him to move on today?
You know.
And it is rewarded. It is rewarded, Pastor Cyrus. God, when women and men do that, Pastor Cyrus, I have seen God work. I have friends. There's a friend of mine who was telling me she wants to leave the country. She's to go to another country to work. I asked her, how's your husband? How does your husband feel about this? She told me, my husband has supported me in every career move I have had, in all my education. And we have sat down and talked about it. He has told me to pursue it. He drove me for the interviews. He waited for me. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, these men are still there in this life.
Yeah.
They are.
They are.
And I asked her, so if you move to another country, what is he going to do? He said he's going to move with me. Don't you think it takes sacrifice of that man?
Sacrifice.
It is.
He's not trying to seek what is best for him,
Yeah.
but what is best for her.
What is best for her?
I think we have a challenge here. There's some teachings that have really destroyed our marriages. And some people may think, oh no. For example, people talk about, if I come to you and I say, I'm bored, I'm tired of this whole thing, then you're going to ask me, okay, what is it? I don't feel loved by this woman.
By then, that is mostly the answer, Pastor Cyrus.
You don't feel loved. Now, let me tell you, the reason you don't feel loved is because you don't give love. And the reason you don't give love is because you've not received love. Because I receive love from the Father and I give love to you. And then the more I give it, the more I feel loved. The more I don't give it, then I don't feel loved. Now, this is what your people have come up with. What can make you feel loved? When it buys me gifts.
Yes. And the man, when she touches me.
When she touches me, I feel loved. No, you're ridiculous. Let me tell you something.
When he does for me, when he cleans the house, and it was supposed to be me to clean the house, I feel loved.
That's the time you feel loved.
Absolutely.
I can do that stuff for you when I'm cheating on you. Oh, man. I don't know what's wrong with human beings. The way we think. I can give you the gifts. I can clean the house for you while I'm cheating on you.
It is very possible. But
You see, feeling loved shouldn't come just from me. It must start with you and God. And then when He gives you love, you feel loved and accepted by faith.
have perfected this, Pastor Cyrus,
Yeah.
to the point that now my husband knows how I feel loved. When you come back and find the dishes in, wash them. And I've tuned
Make me feel loved.
yeah, and I've tuned myself to when I make love to him, he'll feel loved. So we are what can,
You're robots.
so
You're programmed.
no, we're fooling each other is the right word.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so true.
We
You're
are-
actually fooling each other.
That is right. So now,
And the day you grow weary of that whole circus,
the day he doesn't wash those dishes
I don't feel loved. I'm just tired.
for
He
1
doesn't
week in
care.
a row,
He's got a new girl.
he's gonna I start withholding some things.
No sex tonight.
No sex. I'm tired. I have a headache. My stomach hurts. My feet hurt.
This thing about I have a headache. Whatever. What is the headache? Okay.
I've
Go
been
ahead
thinking
with-
too much the whole day.
Okay.
So for me to get to this part of I have a headache. So now you're withholding, I'm withholding. We start to get bored. Most of the people, at least I have spoken to, who are bored, is what is she not doing for me? And what is he not doing for me? The woman and the man. And that is bringing boredom.
By the way, Winnie.
I don't know if we're
That is so true. It's you're bored because of what she is not doing. But you see, if she's not doing something, the only way not to be bored, take eyes off me. Stop. You're not doing it for me. No. What am I doing for you so you may learn how to do this?
Let me go into your territory.
Okay.
The pastors, your wives don't feel loved.
Okay. Okay. Winnie's dealing with me now. Okay.
Your wives don't feel loved.
Uh-huh.
Your wives, she's got to dress a certain way.
Uh-huh.
She's supposed to wear some makeup. Imagine she's not a makeup person. Her hair's got to look a certain way, which she doesn't like. Yeah. But because she is your wife, yeah, you are going to preach in some Elijah Ministries, whatever. So that day she's had cramps the whole day. She don't want to show up. She's telling you, Cyrus, I don't feel well. You will go. You have to be with me. You have got to sing in the choir. Now look at the way Winnie was singing. You should man the choir. You need to man the children's church. The offering needs your help. And she will say, I am tired. And she don't feel loved. And then you complain, this woman doesn't understand the calling of God on my life.
I
This,
love that.
this woman, God has called us to save souls. God has called us to minister, and you don't want to be a part of it. He gave you to me. He can take you away from me.
Hey.
Hey,
I- I-
and now, you don't feel love. This woman doesn't love me because she didn't love the work of God.
okay.
Now, Pastor Cyrus, you talk to us about the pastors.
Now, we pastors that come up with such thinking actually ain't part of them. But let me tell you this. If you believe that you don't feel loved because your wife don't love your ministry, it's ridiculous, okay? If she don't love your ministry, love her. Yeah. If your wife don't love what you're doing, start loving her. You see, most pastors are really so twisted. They believe that if I love a woman, it's about my ministry. That if God gave you to me, it was because of my ministry.
Absolutely.
No. God never gave you to me because of my ministry. God gave you to me for his own glory. Ministry or no ministry. You see, sometimes there's some pastors who will say, well, I'm hanging on with my wife for the sake of the ministry. Don't hang on to your wife for the sake of the ministry. Do not waste your time. That's ridiculous. You stay with your wife because you love her. Jesus did not die at the cross for the sake of me being a pastor. He died at the cross because he loved me. Okay, so whatever I do for my wife, it's got to be because I love her, not because of the ministry. So it is very wrong to put ministry above my wife, and that's why it is very wrong and wicked. It's adultery.
Really?
Yeah, it's adultery to raise ministry above my marriage, above my spouse. You know why? Why is it adultery? Because adultery is about me taking all the attention that is supposed to be yours and I'm giving it to somebody else or something else.
Pastor, ministers of God
Yeah.
have literally told their wives, you are putting, you are the asunder between God and I.
No, in fact, I got to put asunder as long as, in fact, if a pastor says you're putting me asunder between God and I, he's just a fool. He's just being ridiculous. He doesn't even understand. You don't even understand what you're talking about. I know y'all can hate me, but you see, I ain't looking for people to love me. I'm loved. So I can tell you anything without fear or favor. Pastors are bored because they're selfish. Yeah, pastors, and they're talking about love. Pastors are bored because you're selfish. All you think about is you and the ministry. All you think about is you. I mean, if she got crumbs and she says, can you let me be? Let her be. Let me tell you, recently, around December, I had a big marriage convention prepared all somewhere in Uganda. And I had to travel with her. About the day they prepared everything, a day before, I had to travel. My wife tasted positive
For?
for COVID-19.
Okay.
And I was like, I ain't coming. People say, please do whatever you can. I say, my wife is first. But you know.
Do you know how many of the preachers would stand there? I bring you greetings from my wife. She was unwell.
I bring you greetings from my wife. She was unwell.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? Go back to her. You see, that's why they end up bored. You look at such ministers, and the next day they're going to say, I need a new girl. I need a new girl who understands me, who loves me.
You pray from 6 to 6. And every time your wife tries to talk to you, you are in the
prayer.
presence of God. When Winnie comes knocking for counseling, you are available. Because that's what God has called you to do.
That's what God has called me to do.
When
Oh, no.
comes,
No, before I do it out, I need to do it in.
that is what it brings. So your wife is bored.
No, you see, she's bored because I'm self-centered. And I pass on the same self-centeredness to her.
Now, Pastor, we have a problem there.
We have a huge problem, and the only thing we can say is it's as pastors, as church leaders, that need to set an example. Anybody else, is a lie.
That means that, is it right to say that that means that even the man of God has not acknowledged that the eyes of God can actually be sufficient?
You said it right. The man of God don't know. You see, if I stay in the presence of God, it's going to drive me to my wife, not away from my wife. If I stay in the presence of God, it drives me to my wife, not away from my wife. Now, if I say I'm in the presence of God, ain't got time for you, I'm talking to God, no, I'm just a liar. I'm just a hypocrite. I'm just a loser. 311. Oh man, our time is running out. Winnie, you know, this whole boredom thing where people come up and say, oh, she don't give me enough sex, I'm bored. She don't give me this, I'm bored. No, 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 no. Boredom is self-centeredness. We've brought it out. And to the pastors out there, if your wife is bored, she's selfish, but because you are selfish too. So you can't help one another. So the best way to do, get back to the love of God, whoo, vertical and then horizontal, and you will succeed. When I want you to look in that camera and talk to the lady who is bored out there. You called them pastors' wives. Now call them out now.
To the lady who is bored out there, the only cure for boredom is to take eyes off yourself. Take eyes off yourself and put your eyes back to Jesus. Everything will fall into focus and into place. Boredom will fly out the door.
You've heard her. That's Winfred Zizinga. Yes, she declared, take eyes off you. Are you bored? Are you a pastor and you're bored in your marriage? And you're a pastor and you have a boring marriage. And you say it's the devil. No, it ain't the devil. It's you. It ain't the devil. It's you, son. You got to take eyes back to God and let him overwhelm you with his love. And in doing so, you can love your wife. And hey, by the way, I love mine. Hey, Robbie. See you next time.
Marital Bliss.